Can everybody hear me okay? I want to make sure this is testing correctly this time. Let me know if the audio balance is a little bit off before we begin very shortly. Is the music soft enough? Background music good? All right, looking good then. No technical difficulties this time. We're going to get started in just a couple minutes, so everybody sit back and relax for a little bit, and we'll wait for a couple more people to arrive. Thank you very much. Okay, so it's 6 o'clock Central Time here in here where I currently am. No reason to dox myself. And we're going to be starting soon with this presentation. Let me put the music back down. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We're going to have probably plenty to talk about today. And if you stick around to the end, I promise that we will actually be giving a live demo of the new site. So, if you're bored by all the technical details I'm about to give you in the presentation, just know we'll be some cool previews at the end before we have some extra time for questions as well. So, hopefully everybody sticks around. And yeah, I think it's about time we get started. Okay, and yes, I'm going to show my mouse for this because I have a demo. So. Mouse, hopefully not too distracting. Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Samuel Pinansky. I am the CEO of M12 Media, the parent company of Bookwalker Global, as well as J Novel Club. And today is our second live stream where we are going to be introducing our brand new revamped Bookwalker Global service, website, app, etc. And today we're going to talk about a lot of things that people had questions about, and reveal more information about some of the details, and as well as prepare you guys, our core users, and anybody else who's interested in the changes that are going to happen, and how to make sure that your accounts migrate and that kind of stuff. So we're going to go over a lot of details, and then after that we're going to have a demo of the new site. And it's still a work in progress, but we're going to show you kind of how it looks, and show you some of the basic features. And then afterwards we'll have some time for questions. So I hope everybody sticks around. Also, I think we might have some brand new people here that maybe don't even know what Bookwalker is. So let me just spend 30 seconds here introducing ourselves. Bookwalker is an ebook store specializing in Japanese manga and light novels. And it was founded almost 10 years ago. Bookwalker Global, the English store, was founded nearly 10 years ago now in Japan by the Japanese Bookwalker store, which is one of the largest ebook stores in Japan. And as of last year, the Bookwalker Global service has been moved to M12 Media, where we are running it on behalf of the Kadokawa Group, our parent company. And we are taking the opportunity to revamp it into something even better than it was before. So for those of you who enjoy manga or light novels, webtoons, we're going to add some more of those. This is the place to be. This is the platform where you can read your basically... We almost have all the manga, the digital manga that's currently published in English, but we're going to expand the catalog even more. And of course, novels, light novels. It is probably the largest digital light novel store platform that there is in English. So that's who we are. And if you aren't familiar with us, of course, check us out right now. But we're going to have a brand new site for you to check out very shortly. So I hope you guys stick around. Okay, let's move on to what we're going to talk about today. So first off, we have a more specific release date. We will be launching sometime February 2026, and hopefully not February 31st. but probably in February. And we are working very hard to make sure that we get everything ready for this launch. So for those of you who are wondering, well, how long until this happens? It's not going to be that much longer. Just basically, you got a month. So I hope everybody is prepared, because we are not. We've got so much left to do. Oh my God. But that's okay. We're going to make it. We'll be fine. Okay, next slide. One of the things that we talked about a lot in the last stream is that even though if you have books and you own books on the Bookwalker Global platform, you do not have to worry about your books. Your libraries will be transferred over. We're going to talk a little bit more about that today. And the Japanese books that you have, if you happen to own any original Japanese books, those will stay on the Bookwalker site in Japan, and the English books will transfer over to this new Bookwalker Global site that we're building. So no matter what, your books are not disappearing. You will still have access to them. In fact, you'll have even more access to them, as we'll discuss in just a second. So to give you some more details, your books will always continue to be accessible. We're going to split the libraries, though, between the English books, which are transferring into the Bookwalker Global Store. And if you're curious which books are the quote-unquote English books, basically any book that is currently on sale on the Global Bookwalker Store is an English book, and everything else would be books that were purchased either back when the libraries were combined many years ago, or books that you purchased with your current account, but on the Japanese store. And that's going to continue to be the case. Your account that you have right now will continue to work on the Japanese store to log in and read your Japanese books into the future, as long as you have at least one. If you don't even have one Japanese book, then it's possible that if you've never logged into the Japanese site, that your account there will eventually be deleted, but that's because you literally have nothing on the account. If you have anything on your account, like points or coins or books, then your account is not going anywhere on the Japanese side. But for the English books, and that's what I think the 99% of you are interested in, this, of course, will be transferred to the new site with the account migration. So we're going to go over this a little bit later in the presentation, but it's a very simple process to basically transfer yourself over to the new system. Okay, and that's the deal with how we're going to deal with the library of your current books. Now, another thing that we talked about briefly in the last presentation, and also in our press release that we released a day or two ago, is we have a brand new DRM system, which is replacing the system on the old site. And we have much more information about it this time that I hope you guys will be interested in. So first of all, what is this system? Well, LCP, which stands for Lightweight Content Protection, is a modern, non-intrusive way of protecting the intellectual property of digital books without getting in the way of actually reading them. Basically, the old systems that are used for DRM, for example, like that you've seen on other sites, they can, one, be very expensive, but also just sort of be slow and clunky, rely on servers that are not controlled by XYZ. Generally, it's not a good experience for either the company or the reader. However, the LCP standard was developed by EDR Lab and Radium to provide a better alternative, and it's been around since around 2014 now. It's now a global ISO standard, and libraries, especially actual libraries themselves, use it in Europe, Canada, South Korea, and increasingly in America as well, and just more and more over the world. EDR Lab actually is a nonprofit, and it's funded by a number of governments as well as other agencies. And Radium actually is the open source technology for EPUB 3, and they're directly associated with the standards body for EPUB itself. So these are all very basically fundamental to the digital book ecosystem people, and we are adopting the same standard. So basically, the idea of LCP is that it's designed for portability innovation. It can protect content exactly as much as the content rights owners want it to. So whether that's saying like you can open it in 10 different devices at the same time, or 5, or you allowed it to be offline reading. There's a lot of things that it can do that allows you to read your content in more flexibly than the older systems. So, and also because it's an open standard and run by nonprofits that are funded by, in many cases, governments, it's not going anywhere. This is the standard that will be around for a very, very, very long time, and it's not just created by a single company. So let's go into a little bit more detail about this. So how does it work? Well, first off, I should just put it as an aside that, of course, you can, when you buy a book on Bookwalker, you can read it on our app. You can read it on our website. We have built-in reader. None of this is necessary. You can obviously read the books the same way you do on the current site. But what this is going to enable us to do is enable you to actually download your books and read them offline, or read them using platforms that are not Bookwalker. So how that would work is this process. So you purchase the book on Bookwalker the same as you always have, and then you can read it on the website, like I said, or the app, or you can actually download essentially an LCP license file that you download to your computer. And that's an LCPL file, which stands for LCP license. And it's just a small little file that then you open up in any LCP compatible reading app or reading device. And that can include some e-readers. That also includes various apps on Android and tablets and iOS. Basically, there's many things and more every day that are compliant with the standard, that are open source in some cases, but basically what it does is once you open it there, it'll then phone home to check that the license is valid. You'll enter some information to prove that you're the owner of the Bookwalker account, and then it'll download the file and you'll be able to read the book. And that just happens once. So once that happens, then you can then read that book on that device, for even offline, etc. Basically, it's yours to read outside of the quote unquote Bookwalker ecosystem, right? And that is something that our current system really cannot do. And it is much more similar to a book that you buy, say, on some other digital bookstores that are open standards. And it basically future-proofs your library, so that even if Bookwalker itself goes away, you'll still be able to read your Bookwalker content. As long as you might not be able to download the file a second time if you lose the file, of course, because it is ultimately us that is running the servers with the data on it. But once you've had it downloaded once and it's unlocked, then you will be able to read it in perpetuity, just as if you owned a physical book. And so what is this? Why are we working with it? Well, like I just said, we don't want you to be locked into our particular store anymore, because that's one thing I think that a lot of people have concerns about with digital content is, how do we really own it if we're only, for dependent on you and your service for providing it to us? And this essentially does do away with that step. While still enabling the publishers to feel like their content is protected, because it does, for example, if you gave that same file and your password to 50 other people, they would not all be able to download it or read it at the same time, right? It does prevent you from, just uploading the book to the internet and having anybody download for free, which is, of course, what the publishers and the rights holders want to protect, because they want to make sure that people are paying for the content. And it's lightweight, it's fast, it's open standards, and it's the best choice. And we think actually that it's going to continue to be the best choice for platforms, not just our platform, but for other reading platforms, audiobook platforms. Just many different types of things can use the standard in the future, for book content especially. All right. So that's why we moved to LCP, and that's some more information about it. Of course, you can always go to their website directly, read about it on EDR Labs websites and the descriptions, and of course, all that information is very, very valid. You can also see all the various companies and libraries and countries, in some cases, that are part of the consortium behind that, and we're proud to be a member of that consortium ourselves. Okay, so moving on to some fact about this. People ask, well, why can't you just do some PDF downloads? Well, because the publishers don't allow DRM-free content for the most part. And it is possible that some publishers might change their mind in the future, in which case we would be very happy to sell either just completely unrestricted EPUBs or create a PDF exporter if you really do prefer that format for manga, although most people, honestly, there's a lot of better formats for manga than PDF, but if people really want PDFs, we could technically have an exporter. That wouldn't be a problem. But that's essentially why. It is the publishers, of course, who ultimately determine the way that their content is sold. Of course, Bookwalker also has a Japanese and a Taiwanese store. For those of you who are familiar with it, and you might wonder if LCP is going to be available on those stores as well. The simple answer is that no, they're going to be running off different systems, or they are running off different systems, but they're going to continue to be running off different systems. We're developing the Bookwalker global system for us first, and if in the future that changes, then that would become an option. I will say this, though, and this is actually very interesting. There are a number of people from the Japanese ebook industry, I won't say which specific companies, but big companies, which are actually on the advisory committees for LCP and EDR Lab and the people who are developing the standards. And the Japanese ebook ecosystem is taking a very close look at this and is trying to decide whether to adopt it or to continue to go their own Galapagos way, as they tend to do. But I think it's looking very promising that even in Japan and Taiwan, this standard might end up being adopted at some point in the future. Of course, in that case, then those stores would in all likelihood also adopt the same process. Will the LCP standard be applied to my old purchases? Yes. Basically, under the assumption that all publishers give approval for it, and we have approval from 99% of them at this point, basically on the new system, every single book will be available for download and then read on other devices or offline. That is the idea. So it doesn't matter when you made the purchase; the old books will still retroactively in your new library have that capability. Will it be for both manga and light novels? Yes, correct. So it works for any EPUB file, and they're both ultimately EPUB files. And will you be able to read offline? I think I did explain that, but the answer is yes. It is possible, although no publisher has currently specified this, but it is possible, I believe, for us to specify that as not being possible in the content protection specifications, but would only be at the explicit request of a particular publisher. So generally speaking, all content will be available offline, and I'm pretty sure that at least goes for Kadokawa content. But because I believe Bookwalker already had an offline reading feature, since all the publishers currently are okay with that, should be no reason why they would not be okay with offline reading with the LCP standard. Okay, and of course there are probably more questions, so we're going to go to Q&A after the demo, and you can ask even more questions. I'm not extremely familiar with the technical aspect of it, but I can maybe answer generally speaking. All right, so that's a very important topic. I am glad we took a decent chunk of time discussing it. I'm really excited about it because it is a step, very, very much a step in the right direction. And compared to the current Bookwalker service, where there's no way to download files, there's no way to save things offline, you either read it on the Bookwalker app or you don't read it at all. It is definitely a lot more flexible and gives you a lot more power over how you consume the content that you purchase. All right. Other important transition details. This is there's a lot more than just that to talk about. So I want to talk about some other important things that people might be wondering about. Well, one thing to talk about is the membership bonus. So for those of you who use Bookwalker, you probably are aware that basically the more books you purchase, the more spending you do, the higher your rank goes, and your rank enables you to get a number of additional coin back on purchases. I think it goes up to 16% for Legend, but it starts at 2% or something, or 3%. And there are various ranks like Novice, Explorer, Guardian, Sage, Legend, etc. So the sad news is that we will be replacing the membership program sometime later in 2026 with the new system. We have much cooler we have interesting things in store to replace the program. But we are not just going to cut everybody off. That, of course, would be very bad. So what we're going to do with the new system is we're basically going to freeze everybody's ranks when you might on the day that we launch. And so if you are rank novice, explorer, guardian, sage, and legend, basically everything but the default rank, we will freeze that benefit, that coinback benefit on your account for until we replace the system completely, which will be happen later in 2026. So you'll keep your rank. There's no longer you don't have to worry about not spending anything and losing your rank like you currently do. It's just going to be frozen at that level until for X number of months until we announce the next thing that will replace it. And then when we do announce the thing that will replace it, we will discuss the transition process at that time. The one exception to this is the legend rank users. For those of you who are familiar with it, that is an eternal benefit, and that eternal benefit will continue to be eternal. So for those of you who are legend rank, all single digits of you, then you will probably have already been contacted to us by us, and we will give you more details directly. But yes, we are going to make sure to maintain our promises to our customers in that respect. So that is what's going to happen with the membership program. You basically, if you, it's going to be look a little different in terms of sort of how it works. The membership rank coinback is going to be like a special promotion that you will always be activated on your account, and as long as you buy a book, it'll be applied to the cart, and you'll get the coin back. So the actual percentages are going to be the same as they currently are. Okay. Moving on, another very important thing about account migration. So we are going to need you guys to migrate your accounts because it is a completely new site and it's a completely new database and everything, and we can't do it completely automatically because we can't unhash passwords, essentially. So we want to make this as painless as possible. So first of all, one thing that, of course, people have asked this question. I'm kind of surprised that people have asked the question. I would think it'd be pretty obvious what we're doing here, but we are going to be converting your points that you currently have in your Brickwalker Global account into coins on the new system. And one coin is going to be worth 1 cent again, as opposed to 1 point is $1. So basically, we're going to convert the points into these coins at the rate of one point is 100 coins, or in this case, if you had 10 points, for example, which is worth 10 US dollars, it'll be converted to 1,000 coins exactly. So there's no currency conversion or anything. This is just very basic, moving the decimal point to two places. As for coin expiration rules, it's going to be very similar to points. If you buy the coins or any coins that you purchase separately, there will be no expiration date. And if you get the coins from Coinback or other promotions, then the default expiration is going to be 5 months. But one thing that the new system can do is actually we can modify this if we want to. So, we might have some kind of special promotion where it's like, here, have 5,000 coins. You have to spend them in 24 hours or something. And, I don't know. That would be kind of crazy, but, we might do that. Who knows? Either way, but generally speaking, like the coin back that you get from, for example, the membership will be 5 months, same as the current one. Okay. Next up, a couple of other minor migration things, pre-orders and subscriptions. So the current system has both, you can of course pre-order books, and you also have a series that you are, quote, subscribed to, and that you sort of buy the next volumes automatically. So when it comes to pre-orders for the transition, if there were books that you have pre-ordered that are coming out at a later date than the migration date, for better or worse, we are going to need you guys to essentially pre-order them again. So any pre-orders that are over the migration date line will not automatically transfer to your new account, but we're going to make it as easy as possible by basically sending you an email where it has a button where you click and it will add all the pre-orders to your cart automatically, and then you buy them. And it'll be that easy. There's various technical reasons why we can't just automatically purchase them for you. Actually, not so much technical reasons, so much as legal reasons. So we're going to need you to essentially click the button again to re-pre-order anything that you have pre-ordered. Of course, if you end up forgetting or not doing it, then the pre-order just doesn't exist. You can always buy the book later. It's not like you'll be charged on the old site by accident or something. That's obviously not going to happen. The other thing is the subscriptions. So for reasons that I'm not going to elaborate on, we are renaming subscriptions to auto buy. And basically any series that you are currently subscribed to you will then become auto buying. And it will work very much like the current system. It'll use your existing coin balance. However, if you don't have enough coins to buy the next volume that's coming out in a series that you are auto buying, it will fail. So we are going to send you reminders. Basically, you need to keep enough coins in your balance to handle the auto buys that are coming up. And that's for various reasons, but generally speaking, there's, again, legal reasons why we can't arbitrarily charge you arbitrary amounts of money without explicit consent. So we're going to change the system a little bit where you basically need to top off your account ahead of time in order to make sure that you can auto buy or auto purchase the books. And there might be some short-term issues with auto buys for books that come out like the day or the week of the actual migration, and that might not end up occurring for various reasons. Of course, you can always go back and buy them manually. So hopefully there won't be too many of those, but at some point we're gonna need to shut these off and then turn them back on. So if there's any things like that, we can always help you out with customer service, or you can just go and buy them manually. Okay, that is some other little details about the migration, how we're going to migrate those kinds of things. Time for looking at the new site and cool stuff. So one other neat thing that we're doing is that we've created a brand new logo for Bookwalker, and it looks like this. Ooh, look at that. So new logo for a new platform. We've got sort of similar looking colors, but maybe it looks a little bit like a bee. I don't know. Maybe it's like some books. I don't know. But it's really nice. The whole website is designed off of this, and basically we're making the new logo for a number of reasons, but we want to make sure that this is differentiated from the Japanese store, as this is a new platform controlled entirely by M12 Media. And at the same time, we are even moving to a new URL. And this, if you forget about this, then you'll be reminded, because if you try and go to the old URL after the migration, it will remind you that it no longer exists. But yes, we are now going to be on bookwalker.com, like a proper American company, I guess. So everything will be there. And if you go there right now, of course, we just have a placeholder site, but the brand new store will be on bookwalker.com for everybody to enjoy. No longer will it be global.bookwalker.jp or some, whatever it currently is. All right. Next up is time for the demo. Woohoo. This is going to be pretty nerve-wracking. I hope everything works. Yes, we're doing it live. I didn't pre-record this. So here goes nothing. Okay, let's just make sure this is actually showing on the screen. Yes, here we go. So what does this look like? Well, first off, we really redesigned the site. Like, it's completely new. This is not, using the bones of the original site at all. This is designed to be modern. We've got a list of cool promotions. These, of course, are just mock-ups. Well, some of them are from previous promotions we did, but the mock-ups of promotions. We have some cool top pages, etc., that we haven't filled out yet for the homepage. We've got new releases. We can do rankings with different sizes, do call-outs. We can do random, arbitrary animations, banners, even put videos on the front page if we really want to. And of course, we have the categories and some nice design. Let me show you the various sections. It's really very simplified, but we have browse here, which is pretty nice. This is, of course, where you can browse the catalog. Right now, we just have maybe 30, 40, or I guess 200 or so series with a couple books for testing purposes. We don't have the full catalog in here yet, obviously, but you can filter by format. You can filter by genre. We have status, tags, publishers. Tags are not loaded yet, so that's why it doesn't show anything. Contributors, and of course you can search for books, and they will pop up here in various ways. Interesting that Ninja Slayer ends up showing up for Neon, I guess because of, what is it? Neo Tokyo, I think is where it takes place. Does anybody know the deep cut that I actually was involved with the translation of Ninja Slayer that went viral? Anyway, that's just random Sam history. So the browse page looks like this, and it is much more, well, frankly, it's much faster than the current browse page, and you can do arbitrary filtering. These filters are also dynamic, so it will dynamically filter, and that is much better than what we currently have. Then in your library, for example, we have history, which is where your reading history will show up. So once you start reading books and series, it'll show you the latest in basically reverse chronological order from the latest book that you've read. So you can very easily and directly go back to the thing that you left off on. We have upcoming, which will show upcoming auto buying series and pre-orders for you to manage any upcoming series that you're buying. You can favorite series, of course. I favorited one as a demo, but your favorite series will show up here, and you can, of course, go there. And then, of course, your purchases. So, you have some, don't worry about the broken cover images. Any of your purchases will show up here, and you can then go to the various detailed pages that you have in the previously. So let's go and click on some of these things and browse. So, for example, if you go to this series here, we have the series page. Which also shows the volumes, and if there are chapters as well, the chapters will be on a different tab here, as well as bonus material will be in the third tab. You can buy them all, you can add them to your cart. Let's go ahead and add this guy to my cart, and now it's added to cart up here. And of course, if you want to go even more details, you can click specifically on the volume or chapter. This one is in my cart, as you can see, and you can look at all the details. For example, it has the labels and publishers and artists. You may also likes. This is just very nice and clean. There's still, as you can see, there's still work in progress. Like it shows the discount price, even if it's not discounted right now. Things like that. We are working through all the bugs right now, I guess you could say. Now, of course, what about the cart? Wow, cart feature. This is so complicated. But right now you can see that, hey, look, I'm getting 180 coins back, and that's because I have a deal, a special 20% coin back deal that I made for myself because I own the company. No, but we got for testing. And this is where, for example, it'll show you the coin back that you get, or if there's a discount, for example, it'll show you the discount here. And you can also buy as a gift. So maybe I'll actually buy this book as a gift. That would work, right? And you can check out with Stripe or PayPal. If you use your coin balance right now, I have 640 coins, which is not enough to pay for this book. So I need to pay an additional $260 to get that. So if I click on checkout, it is going to go to Stripe, or you can go to PayPal and use PayPal. So we accept the two different ones. It's currently in test mode. But for example, if I... is this going to show my banking information if I... I don't want to actually do that. Just a second. That would be dangerous. In any case, you can buy the books and they will show up in your cart. Let's go to some other things. If you go to more, you have some cool things like your various coins that you currently have. Here's all the expiring coins and what date they expire at. And then this one is the neat one. You have a list of deals that are currently activated on your account. Right now, I have 2 deals. This one is the one that gives me coin back. And this one is a particular sale that is on some books, and I'll show that in a second. But and of course, you have the gifts section. So any gifts that you've received, somehow I've received 2 of the same volume. I actually fixed that bug. Thank you. But if you purchased gifts, this is where you can get the gift message and copy it and send it to someone, and they can accept the gift, for example. That's accepted right here in redeem code. Right. You have a transaction list where you see all the various transactions that you've done. And of course, important things, settings, where you set mature content. Email notifications is currently broken. We're going to work on that. Dark mode. Yes, of course, we have a dark mode. It looks pretty nice. You can't see the cool little monk tone-esque things. I don't know if this even comes through on the stream, but there's some cool design elements I like as well. You can actually associate multiple different emails. I'm doxing my email here. No, don't send me spam. That's right. I got plenty of spam. It's fine. You can set up multiple emails for your account, and you can also link your accounts to Google, Apple, Discord, Facebook, or X if you want, and you can control your active sessions. So you can sign out of various sessions here. Here we go. This doxed my location. I am in Texas. Anyway, in any case, and you can also do the full delete account if you really want to here for privacy and also European GDPR settings. So that's basically the site. We obviously have a reader, which we're not prepared to show you because it hasn't been fully styled yet, but you can imagine. And of course, with the thing in the cart, that is cool. What else did I want to show you? No, I think that's basically it. I don't know if there's anything too much else to show. Of course, we have an app as well, which looks very, very similar to this and has all the exact same features, with the exception of the cart. There's no cart on the app, but you can buy all of a single series, or you can buy individual books. And if there are any deals that are associated with that particular individual book, it will also work on the app as well. Oh yeah, now I remember what I want to say. So if you have a series that's on sale, which I believe I put Story of Cyan Koku on sale, you can see that it shows the discounts, for example, here, and if you put it in the cart, and praying this doesn't break. There we go. Yes, you can see that it shows also the discounted price for this particular sale for this particular book. There is a bug. If people are looking very closely, you'll see that the coin back, which is off the total of the entire cart, is actually broken, and it shouldn't show on each individual thing. We're going to fix that shortly. But basically, yeah, we have $13.20. 20% of that seems to be 300 coins. So we will actually, you know what? That actually is another book, I think, because we're supposed to be off the discounted price, not the total price. That's a good question. I have to think about how we should do that. Maybe actually the cart coin back should be off the total price that it currently is calculated. Well, either way, as you can see, we're working out some of the little details, but the promotion system essentially is fully working. That means we can continue to do cool sales and coin back, and even more cool stuff, which I don't want to reveal right now for you. All right. That is the demo. I think I'm going to go to question time if there's no other issues. Let's see here. Go back to Mr. Streamlabs and go over to this. All right. Oh, actually, you know what? Somebody asked a good question, which I can do right now. What does the look like on mobile? And I'm going to see if this works on Streamlabs, because I wasn't sure if resizing is going to just break this completely. Let's see here. Oh, the screen capture doesn't really work very well like this. Let's see. It's a little too skinny. How do I fix this? Can I do this if I go real fast? Can I fix the window capture? Let's see. Oh, it's just all black for you, isn't it? There we go. That's better. Yeah, so it's fully responsive. So it does look actually quite nice. Just on phones without the app. So if you want to do browse, you can browse, you can do the genres and such, and that works fine. If you go to more, you can look at your deals again here, and you can, of course, look at the cart, which is a little bit more like this. Yeah, and it'll expand and automatically be responsive. So it is very responsive design. Okay, moving to the end of the stream. Oh, actually, not this end. I think it just wants to be here. There we go. The question and answer slide. Does it look okay? It does not. There we go. That's better. Time for questions. All right, let's see here. Going back to questions. Oh, hey, we even have our other people in the chat. So let's go in chronological order based off things. Okay, looks really modern. I like all the compliments. Thank you. Filters and tags. Good question, actually. So someone asked about what filters and tags we're going to have. Well, we're going to have way better filters and tags than we currently have in the current store, which is sort of a mess of things that have been sent to us by publishers over the past 9 years and really needed some fixing. So we're basically wiping the tags and genres off of our data library, and we're rebuilding it from scratch. So it will be much more accurate and more consistent across all of our content. And then 10 years from now, when we have 10 years more worth of content with messy metadata, we'll probably end up doing it again. But yeah, it'll generally we're going to improve the tagging from what you currently have. In fact, I think that's literally what our developer is working on today. So, or tomorrow. We're actually in the process of migrating the full catalog right now. For those of you who are curious, Bookwalker sells around 70,000 titles, individual titles. That's chapters and volumes. So yes, we're migrating around 70,000 books, which is quite the undertaking. Okay. And bonuses, yeah. What do you do? What the deal? All 0% off. Well, I mean, hey, it's nice. That's just a display bug. Thank you for the compliment about the UI. Let's see here. Dark mode. People like dark mode. Can people see what you read on Discord? We are. There are plans in the future to create a Discord server, but no guarantees. We would love to. We're not going to have like our own forums, for example, like what J Novel Club does. But we might do some social work on places like Discord servers and things. And when we have something like that, the ability to create plugins and connect your account to it is very possible. If people really want that kind of stuff, there's no reason why you couldn't do that. And then it could just be like Steam, where it says your friend is playing blah blah blah. Now it can be your friend is reading my boss is so hot that I can't concentrate on my work, OL volume 12, right? I'm sure that's what you want. Now then, social features like sharing current reads with friends, wish lists. The wish list, we are going to have wish lists. Sharing wish lists, like the current site, is something that is going to be a later feature, but you have your favorites. So did I forget to show that? You can favorite series, and then we'll definitely work on allowing people to easily share that favorites list with other people. So let's see, using different bookshelves and share link, which is very cumbersome. This is the kind of thing where we want to actually listen to the users as to what exactly they want, because when it comes to social sharing, everybody sort of has different opinions, and I think it's best to start with a really solid foundation and then build out those features in the future, because the social media is such a rapidly changing environment. It's hard to make sure that we do that correctly. Can the app redirect to a browser so I can purchase books? That's an interesting question that I think the answer is going to depend on the resolution to various legal challenges in the United States. That is something that I believe we could theoretically do only in Europe at this point. I will say this, though. We are watching the developments there very closely. And if the United States government does decide to force Apple and Google to allow in-app purchases for purchasing books, or things like redirecting to the web page for purchasing things, we might very well take advantage of that. But for now, we're going to comply with the terms of service. Will the app work on Kindle Fire? I'm pretty sure the answer to that question is, as long as it's a relatively modern Kindle Fire, yes, because it is Android. It might be a little bit tricky to load it on your Kindle files. I forget if they come with actual access to the full Google Play Store. Any device that has access to the Play Store and is more modern than, I think, like 6 years old or something, should. I forget what the oldest Android version we support is. But either way, we should. It's supported on all modern Android devices with access to the Google Play Store. Can other platforms gift books to Bookwalker? No, I don't see how that would work, because we would have to be able to verify with that platform that it was actually gifted, and I don't know what other ebook platforms are open like that, right? That's kind of one issue, of course. I showed the site looks on a mobile. Thank you. What do you? This is an interesting question. Someone asked that it looks like it's going to be too big on PC. Um, what does I guess then I guess you're sort of hoping for a text should be much smaller so that it can show way more things on the screen mode. Hopefully, we're kind of trying to do away with the Japanese design, I guess you could say, and make things more unified across mobile and PC. But there are we can definitely look at enhancing things with maybe like a more details mode for the listing for the browsing and listing that will just show smaller details. For example, there'll allow more things to be on one page, that kind of stuff. We'll take feedback into advance. Let's see here. Someone posted anything. Okay. Where will the books on archived books on the Global Bookwalker site appear? On the normal library. Oh, archived books, right. That's a good question. We are not intending to have an archived books feature like there is on the current Global Bookstore. I don't know how many people even take advantage of that. But they'll be able to filter based off things like have you read it, for example, the current reading status. There will be other ways for you to easily find the thing in your library that you're looking for. But there's not going to be a specific like archived and unarchived books section like the current Bookwalker store has. Why did you remove the star from the name? The answer is because we don't have a star on our keyboard. And it makes it difficult for SEO and various things. And the star was sort of part of the logo. And since we're changing to a new logo, it's no longer necessary. Yes, Bookwalker is no longer Bookwalker with a star in the middle. We also notice we are technically not calling ourselves Bookwalker Global anymore. We are the English Bookwalker store. So the global name will slowly also disappear. Bookwalker JP has a CSV export of their catalog. Being a data dumper API. I mean that we could definitely implement something like that if there's really enough call for that. It's not difficult, obviously, to download CSV of library. We'll look into that. I don't believe, like I said, that's not available on the current global store, but I think it is available on the Japanese store for people who own like 30,000 Japanese books. Let's see here. Of course, we're gathering feedback right now, and we'll continue to gather feedback as the store launches, etc. Let's see here. No preview there. Questions about the internal search feature of the existing Bookwalker store. That's an interesting feature that we are not going to have on launch. That is actually quite difficult feature to implement because it requires indexing and going through the actual contents of books. And it doesn't work for manga, obviously. It only works for novels. We're looking into other more clever ways of giving better search results or fuzzy search results or ways that are based off the content of the book. But we're always looking into sort of improving that, but we're not going to have something that's directly analogous to that system in terms of searching, but yes. Okay. Is there any connection between the Bookwalkers after the split or only the name? Well, we're all owned by the same ultimate parent company in Japan. And the name itself, of course, Bookwalker is trademark in Kadokawa. But in terms of the business practices, sort of like the way we're selling books or the way we have our contracts with the different publishers, they are different businesses that will be operated by different teams. There is actually a department in Kadokawa in Japan called the Global Digital Book Services section of the Global Business Department of Kadokawa, whose job is, one of their job is to overview and manage all digital platforms of all Kadokawa subsidiaries. So there is some management structure that is looking over all of the different Bookwalkers at the same time. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they're dictating how we run our business. They're It's more like we report our sales to them, and and they look at the trends around the world, et cetera, et cetera. That's sort of their purpose. So there's some limited business managerial synergy between the different book walkers, but beyond that, they're separate platforms. And then let's see here, other questions. Currently, there's a link to original JP title and some Ian book. Will the link be on the same site? We will definitely be able to import that data. I'm trying to think if we have a actual link, but the Japanese title should be available, I think, as an alternate title on series. We're storing various alternate titles for series internally, mostly for SEO purposes, but some of them, like the original Japanese titles, is also useful for people who want to look up the original Japanese book. So we'll make sure that that's visible. Let's see, sort of. Read or unread data being moved across, or will the status of our library revert to unread for everything? I believe we are not attempting to migrate the existing read status of things, at least internally, but I'll have to double check with our team. We might be able to at least migrate the have you read the entire thing? So have you completed reading the book or not? But I am pretty sure that we are not going to be able to say, you've currently read 64% of this and migrate that over. So that is one thing. Question about other books in other languages. We're just targeting the English space right now. I will say, as a hint that really shouldn't be taken as a hint, that the new site and its website and also its admin portal are fully localized in terms of I-18N-ness. So it would be relatively easy, quote unquote, to change the site to operate in another language. What is not easy is gathering the content for other languages and also curating that content and having customer service that can respond to people in other languages and, generally speaking, create a business that is marketing towards people who are not English speaking. And that is a much bigger endeavor that we would have to propose as a business development thing, and it's not happening anytime soon. It is possible that we might end up throwing some Spanish books on the site if our existing publishers really want us to. But beyond that, in terms of seeking out new local publishers in local languages, I don't think that's happening anytime soon. Let's see here. Sorry about that. Thank you. Someone just about to read. Will it be possible to rent books for a fraction of the price? No, that is not a business model that we currently have. Just as a plug, that is a business model that you can do on J Novel Club. So if you're curious about renting any J Novel Club books, or novels or manga, you can do so on the J Novel Club site. But Bookwalker is not a rental store; it is a purchase to own store, and currently that is the business model that we are doing. Rental, as a future business model, it doesn't seem impossible, but in some ways it doesn't really drive as much if you also are selling the full books. So if anything, we would maybe do a different type of business model in addition to the full sale model. Let's see here. Oh, someone is new to Bookmarker. Has the release date decided for the new website? Well, if you're here on the beginning of the stream, no. It will be released sometime in February. We are working very hard. Thank you. Someone already answered that guy's question. Let's see here. Okay. Japanese site, there's a feature when first volume of the series is free for 2 weeks or so. Will features like this ever exist in English store or site? Maybe. Ultimately, that's up to the publishers to agree to. And it is definitely, I will say this. In the future, we are going to have a lot more promotions that will involve content that is readable for free. That is in our agenda, essentially. We want to start advertising, hey, read XX and Y for free for the next day or next 2 days or next week, as a way of incentivizing people to check out new series. So, of course, all of those promotions will need to be done with the permission of the original content providers, whether it's Kadokawa or Yen Press or Seven Seas or whatever. But we definitely have the ability to do that kind of promotion on the new site, which is one of the things I've built in. So I've looked ahead towards being able to do more promotions like that. Yes. Let's see here. Does label, publisher, artist, and author detail in the books are clickable? I believe not at the moment, but we can probably make it so it links to a browse with that as the filter, since all those are all obviously things that we can filter by. Any changes to previews, like ability to preview more of the first chapter in the chapter release instead of just the first page in some cases? Not on launch. However, this sort of ties into the thing I talked about before. For books that are just released in chapters, obviously, right now our contracts allow us to show the first 10% of the thing for free preview. And if the book or the thing is only 20 pages, then 10% of 20 pages is 2 pages, which is a cover and 1 page. So that's just a contractual limitation. That's off the general contractual limitation. We would need to essentially renegotiate free previews for things like that to be a little bit longer, and that's work that we can do in the future. The site can enable us to set the arbitrary percentage of free preview for an individual book if we want to, or label if we want to. And then in the future, my goal anyway is to have a series of chapters that, the entire first chapter or second chapter or third or 3 chapters will be available for free depending on the length of the series, and that also is something that we negotiate with the publishers. Will the reading history and the buying history of the old site be available on the new site? In case of a negative answer, download those histories. That's a good question. The answer is no. We are not going to have the entire transactional data from the old site on the new site. It's a completely new system, and there's no way to easily download all that. However, we do have backups of the global users' transaction history for analytics purposes. It's literally we have the BigQuery database in a backup. So I believe we might be able to extract individuals' transaction history from that upon customer service request, and then send that over to you. But I don't want to guarantee that we can do that yet. But we have the data ultimately saved somewhere. It's just not in a system that we've programmed, because that would be a lot of work for not very much benefit. It's just in a database, literally. So we'd have to extract it from the database. How long has the new Bookwalker team been working on the new system and site? Basically, since we got control of the business, about 10 months at this point in earnest. We started planning over a year ago, but in terms of actual coding and programming, maybe 8 months at this point. And we're nearing the finish line, but there's a lot to work. Yeah. Okay. Let's see here. Preview was only the author and the artist. Are there any plans to add the translator or other info tag? Like I said, I think Henry just answered this, but essentially, the metadata on the books that we have is delivered to us by the publishers. So if the publisher sends us the contributor that includes translators and editors and whoever else is in their contributor list, we will be importing all of that information, and it'll be available. If the publishers don't include that information, then we don't get it. And frankly, there's no way for us to reliably even get that information anyway. So we're not going to be scraping it from other databases and pulling it into our site. We can only really give the information that is provided by the publishers. So that would be a question for a particular publisher to, ask that they provide that kind of information for people. Maybe in the future, I suppose it might be possible that we could have some kind of ANN encyclopedia connection, and then information on the ANN encyclopedia that is verified is then available on our site as well. Anime News Network is, of course, also a Kadokawa Group company, and therefore we would be able to work together with them on that for something like that. But that again would ultimately be up to the publisher to allow us to add additional metadata for their books that they haven't approved, right? So that would be the thing. User reviews. Yes. I forgot to say, there is one thing that we are not migrating that I didn't mention, which is the 5-star, 4-star, 3-star ratings that are on the current site. We found that those are almost invariably somewhere between 4 and 5 stars, and generally speaking, don't provide any information to anybody. And so we are doing away with those. We might, rather than have a user reviews, we might add in a system where you can create a star or stars for your books in your library just for your own reference. That's a feature that we might add, so that you can sort of at a library, maybe filter based off your favorite books that you say the 5 stars, and then ultimately maybe we expose that to the public at some point in the future. But user reviews are a moderation issue, and we do not have the kind of manpower to properly moderate user reviews, which is the difficult thing about being able to do that well. And come on, you and I and everybody knows that user reviews are going to be flooded with AI generated reviews that are going to just pollute everybody's minds even more. I don't see that they were going to provide. Who's going to trust the things anyway these days? So yeah, I think actually having user written reviews is just not going to happen. Will you show the last revision or date or update date of the book? Some books need to be updated. That is a rare thing to actually happen from most publishers, with maybe the exception of J Novel Club. But we definitely do have the data of, for example, the last time the resource book was updated. I don't believe we currently have a thing where we're exposing that data on the website, but we can totally add that in without too much trouble. So we'll look at the actual data at that point. So yeah. Yes, any other question? Will we review like Jay's current published reader? If so, will that be implemented as or another format? As Chocolate Key said there, we are using a different reader, and that will have its own DRM or LCP compatible DRM as well. But yes, it's generally speaking, our reader will now be like 100% EPUB compliant, and we will hopefully not have any issues with any of the EPUBs. Or more likely, if any of the current catalog doesn't work on our new reader, it's because the publisher's EPUB itself was broken, and maybe we'll have to go and fix some of those. But that will be something that we will find out soon as people start reading the books on our new site. Okay, it is time. It is very much time. I have answered a lot of questions, and thank you very much for all of you who stuck out the full hour. And I hope you enjoyed the demo. Wait, go back here. Actually, there's a good question for me to answer. What will happen to the old mobile app? The current mobile app is actually the Japanese app. It is not a different app. So that app isn't going anywhere. Like, if that app goes away, that's the Japanese mobile app goes away, because it's literally the same app. But it will be no longer usable to read your English books at some point in the future. That is, I don't want to say specifically when. So you will need to download our new app to read the books that you buy and you have in your library on the new site. And the new app will be titled something slightly different and will have our new logo. So hopefully there won't be any confusion about that. You will still be able to read your Japanese books and any of the books on your original Bookwalker account on the original app. However, English support for that app may eventually go away. I don't know what they really intend to do about the quote-unquote English version. The app itself is, multi-language because it's just one app. So that's ultimately up to Bookwalker Japan for how much they're going to support the English version. But of course, you'll only be able to read the Japanese books on it anyway. So if you can read Japanese books on your Japanese app, then hopefully you can use the app in Japanese. It looks a whole lot better in Japanese anyway. So hopefully that works. I think if you just change the I don't actually know how. I guess you'd have to change the locale of your phone to view it in Japanese. I think that's how it works. Not sure how you'd actually do that, but you should still be able to use that app with the current credentials without any change. That's how the apps are going to work. Okay then. Now it's really time to end the stream. Thank you everybody for coming. I hope you had a good time. We will probably do this one more time before launch, or maybe if I'm, even more haggard than I currently am, maybe we won't, because I will be like, and I'll be like that the whole time. So maybe, but we'll see. I know there's still some more specifics about exactly how the migration process works, etc. We're going to be continuing to deliver information about that on our social media. Actually, wait, there was an extra slide, I think, about feedback. I should show that. Otherwise, my marketing manager is going to get angry at me, right? Yeah, thank you. Oh wait, there's a slide about feedback. Okay, well, in the description, I know in the description of the video, there is a link for feedback where everybody can give feedback about everything they heard today, or just generally speaking about Bookwalker. We have been reading those and actually using those to help determine the kinds of things that we're actually talking about in the next stream. So definitely give your feedback. Very helpful. Very good to get the pulse of the most core users that we have, and yeah, it's all very nice. Yeah, whatever. No, it's just because it's it's fine. I know none of my employees ever get angry at me. It's a lovely environment, a work environment. We definitely are not crunching for this next X number of weeks. It'll be fine. Okay. Thank you, everybody. And I will see you next time, assuming I'm not dead. All right. Thank you.